The quad god just seized his crown and the entire world of figure skating shattered into a new reality. Ilia Malinin stands as the Olympic champion. As of February 13, 2026, these 4 words are formally carved into the bedrock of athletic history. Positioned at the heart of the Milano ice skating venue, encircled by a storm of stuffed animals and the thunderous cheers of a crowd that recognizes it has just observed a phenomenon, Ilia Malinin appears less like an exhausted competitor and more like a man who has ultimately recovered his destiny. He didn't simply claim a gold medal today. He delivered a performance so technically outrageous, so physically ferocious, and so numerically commanding that it has essentially made the previous regulations of figure skating outdated. When he assumed his opening stance for the men's free skate, the atmosphere in the venue was thick with a decade of anticipation. For years earlier, he was the teenage prodigy excluded from the Beijing squad. Today, he was the undeniable central figure of the Winter Games. As the opening notes of his music, The Lost Crown, resonated through the stadium, every gaze in the building focused on his skates. He didn't need to be perfect. He didn't need to be faultless. He simply needed to be Ilia. And in accomplishing this, he has attained the new peaks that the Japan Times and the remainder of the globe have been forecasting since he executed the first ever quad axel. The gold medal draped around his neck isn't merely a reward for a 4-minute performance. It's a testament to every hour he dedicated to challenging the principles of physics. Today, Milan didn't just witness a victor, it witnessed the future of human capability. The inquiry everyone is posing tonight in the media hub in Milan is this: how is he so substantially superior to everyone else? The response is straightforward and it is frightening for his opponents. It is the mathematical guarantee. In figure skating, every jump possesses a base worth, a fixed number of points you receive just for executing the rotation. While elite competitors like Japan's Yuma Kageyama enter a free skate with a planned technical base value in the 90s, Ilia Malinin begins his routine in the 100s. Before he even makes contact with the ice, Ilia Malinin has a 20-point advantage. This is what we refer to as the Malinin cushion. It is a mathematical safety mechanism that renders him essentially invincible. Because his routine is so loaded with high-value quadruples, including the quad axel, which is the single most valuable element in the chronicle of the sport, he has constructed a framework where he can afford to commit errors. Let us be frank about the mathematics of 2026. Ilia Malinin can tumble once, potentially even twice, and assuming he completes the remainder of his elements, he will still depart with the gold medal. This is a psychological terror for his competitors. If Kageyama or Adam Sayo Himfa desire to defeat Ilia, they must be absolutely flawless and must pray Ilia has a catastrophic meltdown. But if Ilia is even 80% operational, the battle is already concluded. Ilia's minimum, his absolute worst conceivable day, is still elevated beyond almost every other skater's maximum. He has not just enhanced the sport, he has dismantled the scoring framework by transforming a subjective artistic discipline into a technical weaponry race where he is the sole one with the nuclear capability. Let's examine precisely what makes this 2026 Olympic routine so outrageous. Ilia Malinin didn't just perform a program. He carried out a high-velocity offensive on the record books. He became the first individual to successfully execute 6 quadruple jumps in an Olympic finale, including the jump that nobody else on the planet can even try, the quadruple axel. The quadruple axel is 4 and 1/2 rotations in the air. It is a jump that demands so much force, so much vertical elevation, and such a violent rotation that most medical professionals thought it was physically unattainable until Ilia proved them mistaken. In the Milano venue, he propelled himself into the rafters, spinning with a velocity of 340 revolutions per minute. That is the identical speed as a ceiling fan set to maximum. But the 2026 routine is a terror for his opponents because of the positioning. Malinin is now executing his most challenging combinations in the second portion of the program. In figure skating, any jump completed after the midway point receives a 10% bonus because the legs are supposed to be exhausted. Most skaters struggle to execute a simple triple jump at the 4-minute mark. Ilia Malinin was landing a quad Lutz triple toe combination while his heart rate was approaching 190 beats per minute. As the Japan Times observed leading up to today, he is attaining new peaks of athletic achievement by utilizing his core power to preserve rotation velocity even as his muscles saturate with lactic acid. He is not just jumping, he is rising. But if you want to understand what truly had the world astounded in Milan, it was the discussion about the quintuple jump. Is a 5-rotation jump even feasible? For decades, the answer was a resounding no. But in 2026, Ilia Malinin has transformed the impossible into a legitimate conversation point. In the weeks preceding the games, speculation circulated that Ilia had already executed a quintuple salchow in practice at his facility in Virginia. While he chose to remain cautious for the Olympic gold, selecting the quad axel as his primary weapon, the mere presence of the quintuple in his toolkit has altered the psychological terrain of the sport. As Vogue SG emphasized, Ilia has the distinctive pencil-thin build and the incredible rotation acceleration required to potentially add that extra 360-degree turn. Even without attempting it today, the quintuple jump is the phantom haunting the Milano arena. It is the reason Yuma Kageyama and Shoma Uno examine the scoreboard with such incredulity. They are competing in a realm of 4 rotations, while Ilia is already existing in a realm of 5. He has stretched the boundaries of physics so extensively that we are now debating if a human can spin 5 times and withstand the landing. Whether he executes it today or in a few years, Ilia has already succeeded in making the remainder of the world feel like they are motionless. If you only discuss the quads, you're overlooking the essence of the 2026 Malinin. As Vogue SG recently featured in a magnificent spread, Ilia Malinin has experienced a complete metamorphosis from a jumping apparatus into a global fashion and cultural phenomenon. In his teenage years, he was condemned for being too technical, too mechanical, and lacking the emotional richness of legends like Yuzuru Hanyu. In Milan, that criticism perished. Ilia performed his gold medal routine in a costume that appeared like it belonged on a Paris catwalk, sleek, contemporary, and adorned in thousands of dark crystals that captured the arena lights like celestial bodies. He has brought a confidence to the ice that has not been witnessed in decades. He is making figure skating appealing for a generation of enthusiasts who want to observe athleticism stretched to the absolute limit. He has developed signature maneuvers that serve no technical function other than to dominate the space. Look at his raspberry twist, a horizontal aerial rotation that resembles something out of the Matrix. It is a total exhibition. It is him communicating to the judges that he is so proficient at the difficult elements that he has energy remaining to display flair. He has harmonized the deity and the human. He has the technical supremacy of a machine but the personality of a superstar. He isn't just earning medals, he is earning the culture. He is the first figure skater in a generation to become a household identity for people who do not even follow the sport. This victory is the final crucial component of the Ilia Malinin narrative. 4 years ago, the figure skating world was stunned when a young Malinin, despite executing massive jumps at the US Championships, was excluded from the Beijing team in favor of more experienced veterans. That disappointment fueled him for 1,460 days. In 2026, he finally obtained his vindication. Earlier this week, he guided Team USA to a gold medal in the team competition, acting as the anchor for a squad that featured veterans like Madison Chalk and Evan Bates. But today, February 13th, was about his individual heritage. By capturing the men's singles gold, he has accomplished the Grand Slam of figure skating. He now possesses the Olympic title, the world title, and the Grand Prix final title simultaneously. He has exceeded the technical boundaries of Nathan Chen. He has embodied the charisma of Yuzuru Hanyu. He has taken the finest of the legends who preceded him and added a level of difficulty that they could not have envisioned. The environment in the Milano ice skating venue when his scores were revealed was unlike anything the sport has ever experienced. It was not just a celebration of a victory, it was a celebration of a new epic. We are no longer existing in the era of graceful skating. We are existing in the era of Ilia Malinin. Success for Ilia Malinin is not just about a piece of gold medal. Success is the understanding that he has rewritten the principles of gravity. He demonstrated to the world that impossible is just a term for people who have not calculated the math yet. He demonstrated to us that you can be a deity on the ice and still be human enough to smile at the crowd. He demonstrated to us that the human spirit does not have a ceiling, it only has new peaks. Whether he performed a clean program or battled through a stumble, the outcome was always going to be the identical. When you function at the level of Ilia Malinin, the competition is not the other skaters in the locker room. The competition is physics itself. And today in Milan, physics finally lost. Ilia Malinin is the Olympic champion. The quad god has his crown. And figure skating will never ever be the identical again.